Have you ever felt lost, not knowing how to achieve your goals? Have you noticed that, even with good intentions, the lack of discipline, patience, and focus end up sabotaging your plans? If so, then this video has reached you at the perfect moment. The journey to a full and balanced life begins within you. And Master Shi Heng Yi teaches us a valuable lesson. Develop your inner strength. Everything else comes after. But what does this really mean? How can we strengthen our mind and spirit to face life's challenges? The answer lies in the ancient teachings of the Shaolin monks. What many don't know is that true strength is not just in muscles or physical endurance, but in the ability to control the mind, develop solid habits, and find balance between action and acceptance. In this video, you will discover how the Shaolin monks shape their character through discipline, patience, and respect. More than that, you will learn how to apply these principles in your everyday life to become a more focused, resilient, and balanced person. If you want to transform your life, you need to be willing to strengthen your mind and spirit. And it all starts now. True strength is not in the muscles nor in the ability to physically resist life's challenges. It resides within the mind and spirit. The Shaolin monks understand this deeply, which is why their practices go beyond physical training. They know that before mastering the body, one must master the mind. Inner strength is the ability to keep going, even in the face of difficulties. It's what prevents a person from giving up when encountering obstacles. But this strength does not appear out of nowhere. It is built daily, through the practice of discipline, patience, and respect. In Shaolin teachings, there is no success without self-control. Modern life offers many distractions, easy paths, and shortcuts that promise quick results. But all of this is an illusion. Those who seek a greater purpose understand that there is no evolution without effort, nor transformation without dedication. Developing inner strength means learning to endure difficulties without being shaken. It means knowing when to wait for the right moment to act, and understanding that not everything is under our control. When we accept this reality, we become more resilient and more prepared to face any challenge life throws at us. Now that you understand what it truly means to have inner strength, let's explore the 3 fundamental pillars for cultivating it. Inner strength is not something you are born with. It is something you can cultivate. Just as a warrior sharpens his sword, you can train your mind and spirit to become more resilient and balanced. The Shaolin monks follow 3 essential principles for this journey: discipline, patience, and respect. Each of these pillars is a crucial piece in strengthening your mind and building an unshakable character. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to go. Without it, any goal becomes just a distant dream. The Shaolin monks understand this better than anyone. They train daily, repeating movements and exhausting exercises, not because they are easy, but because they know that true growth happens in repetition and continuous effort. In the West, many people associate discipline with rigidity or restriction, but in reality, it is liberating. A disciplined person has control over their choices, while those who live without discipline are prisoners of their own impulses and distractions. If you want to develop your inner strength, start with small daily habits. Wake up and go to bed at the same time. Set times to practice exercise or meditation. Keep your promises, even when no one is watching. These small acts create a powerful cumulative effect, transforming your mind and your life. We live in an instant gratification society, where everything needs to happen quickly. But personal development does not follow this pace. Building a strong mind takes time. The Shaolin monks teach us that patience is one of the greatest powers a person can have. Imagine planting a seed. You can't rush its growth. You need to water it every day and trust the process. The same happens with the mind. You don't become disciplined or strong overnight. You need to persist, even when you don't see immediate results. Patience teaches us to accept challenges without despairing. It gives us the clarity to understand that each difficulty is an opportunity to learn. Those who don't develop patience give up before they even reach victory. But those who understand its importance continue steadfast, knowing that all effort will be rewarded at the right moment. Respect is an essential value within Shaolin training. But it is not limited to respect for masters or traditions. True respect starts with oneself. Respecting yourself means taking care of your body and mind, avoiding excess, and maintaining healthy habits. It means not sabotaging yourself with negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. Moreover, respect for others is a reflection of self-respect. Arrogance, impatience, and a lack of empathy are signs of a fragile mind. When you develop respect, you learn to listen more, judge less, and act with wisdom. Discipline, patience, and respect form the foundation of true inner strength. But how do we apply these principles in our daily lives? To understand this, we need to explore how the Shaolin monks perceive success and failure. Most people fear failure. They avoid challenges because they're afraid of making mistakes, of failing, of appearing weak in front of others. But the Shaolin monks see failure in a completely different light. For them, there is no defeat, only learning. When a disciple makes a mistake during training, they're not punished or discouraged. On the contrary, they are encouraged to observe the mistake, understand what can be improved, and try again. This happens because within Shaolin philosophy, true growth comes from experience, not just from successes. Success and failure are simply two sides of the same coin. Failure doesn't mean you're incapable. It simply means there's still something to be learned. And success isn't a final destination, but a moment within a journey that never ends. This perspective is liberating. When you realize that making mistakes is part of the process, fear no longer becomes an obstacle. You begin to act without hesitation, knowing that each attempt, whether successful or not, contributes to your growth. But how can we transform this mindset into something practical? How can we train our minds to deal better with challenges and build this inner strength every day? The Shaolin monks have specific methods for this, and I'll reveal some of these practices so you can apply them in your daily life. Understanding the pillars of inner strength is a huge step, but true change happens when these teachings are put into practice. The Shaolin monks don't just talk about discipline, patience, and respect. They live these principles every day. Similarly, it's possible to integrate these values into your routine through simple yet profoundly transformative exercises. To develop discipline, it's essential to set small daily commitments and follow through with them rigorously. Discipline doesn't come from big decisions, but from the repetition of small actions that, over time, shape the mindset and behavior. Choosing a simple habit, like waking up at the same time every day, practicing meditation for a few minutes, or avoiding distractions while working, can be a powerful first step. In Shaolin training, monks perform repetitive practices daily because they understand that character strength comes from consistency and ongoing effort. Patience, on the other hand, can be cultivated through meditation and conscious breathing. Being able to wait without anxiety is one of the greatest challenges of the modern mind, but it can be developed with simple practices. Setting aside 5 minutes of the day to focus on your breath, inhaling and exhaling deeply, teaches the mind to slow down and find balance. In the Shaolin Temple, monks spend hours in silence and inner observation because they understand that a restless mind leads to impulsive decisions and an unbalanced life. This simple daily practice helps reduce anxiety, control emotions, and strengthen patience. Respect, both for oneself and for others, can be strengthened through active listening. Often we talk more than we listen, interrupting conversations and imposing opinions without really understanding what's being said. In Shaolin training, silence is seen as a powerful tool for wisdom. A practical exercise is to dedicate yourself to truly listening to others without interrupting, without formulating responses before the other person finishes speaking. This not only improves relationships, but also teaches the mind to be more attentive and respectful. For those who want a more structured challenge, a 7-day training can help consolidate these teachings. The first step is to establish a disciplined routine, starting the day at the same time and focusing on one activity without interruptions. Next, practicing conscious breathing for a few minutes will bring more mental clarity and emotional control. On the third day, the challenge will be to spend an entire day without complaining or criticizing, simply observing your own thoughts and actions. The fourth day will be dedicated to active listening, paying genuine attention to every conversation without interruptions. Throughout the week, you'll face small discomforts, such as taking a cold shower, doing an intense workout, or reducing the time spent on social media. This experience helps build resilience and self-control. Meditation should also be deepened, dedicating at least 10 minutes to silence the mind and record the sensations that arise. Finally, on the 7th day, reflecting on everything you've learned during the week will help you understand which of these practices can become permanent habits. By following this process, you'll begin to notice deep changes in the way you think and act. Inner strength doesn't develop in easy moments, but in overcoming daily challenges. This journey doesn't require big revolutions, just the commitment to improve a little bit every day. Inner strength is not a gift reserved for a few. It's a daily practice available to everyone willing to walk this path. The secret lies not in grand achievements, but in the accumulation of small decisions that strengthen the mind and spirit. Shaolin monks understand that true power doesn't reside in physical strength or dominating others, but in the ability to control oneself, to remain balanced in the face of challenges, and to act with awareness in all situations. Throughout this video, we will explore the key pillars for this journey: discipline, patience, and respect. Each of them acts as a foundation that supports a strong and resilient mind. Discipline teaches us that growth requires consistency and effort. Patience shows us that transformation doesn't happen overnight, and that learning to wait is part of the process. Finally, respect reminds us that our true strength lies not just in personal achievement, but in the way we relate to the world around us. If you want to transform your life, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now with small changes that will accumulate over time. Be committed to your discipline, train your patience, and practice respect in your daily actions. With this, you'll see that success and failure are no longer opposites. They become just parts of the same journey of learning and growth. Always remember the words of Master Shi Heng Yi. Develop your inner strength. Everything else comes after. When you strengthen your mind and spirit, everything around you transforms. You become more resilient to adversity, more focused on your goals, and more balanced in your emotions. If this content resonated with you and you believe it can help others, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with someone who also needs to hear this message. Together, we can build a community of stronger, more conscious people who are better prepared to face life's challenges.